Hey everybody, it's Libby again. I am back on the WootRecruit YouTube channel. So what is WootRecruit? Well, we are a recruiting process that's outsourced, designed specifically for the high turnover industry like cleaning, lawn care, roofing, construction, you name it. If you are in a service-based industry, we are the go-to recruiting process for you. Today, we have a very special guest. If Holly, you want to introduce yourself, and we're going to talk about some hiring journeys and struggles.
Thank you so much for having me, Libby. My name is Holly Silva. Actually co-own a cleaning company on Long Island in New York, and we've been in business for 6 years. And I am probably very biased because I love WootRecruit, but thanks to WootRecruit, we have 7 full-time employees now. Never thought we'd make it past like 2, so we're doing great.
Awesome. So, thank you so much. But let's kick it off. I've been trying to ask this question to everybody. It's like, what is your number one hiring mistake that you recall making, or what's just the number one hiring mistake you've made?
Our biggest hiring mistake for sure was just hiring anybody who walked through the door and keeping them no matter what. Like, we did not fire anybody ever because we were just desperate and we were trying to do it on our own. And so it did not matter what they looked like, how they spoke, how they presented themselves, nothing. We didn't even have like a list of what we didn't even know what we were looking for. If you had feet and arms and a
A
head,
pulse?
yeah, a pulse, literally a pulse. We probably would have hired people without feet. I don't know. We could have made it work. Um, yeah, we just hired anybody. Biggest mistake ever.
Awesome. We were talking right before we pushed the start button here, and she was talking about the bench now. She's using the bench. So I want you to share with our listeners, how are you guys using the bench? Because so a bench, I gave a talk at CBF Live, which is a conference that just passed. But I talked about the importance of stacking your bench when it comes to recruiting, how much it saves you, your recruiting costs. I gave a bunch of numbers in that. But I want to hear from you guys. How has the bench changed recruiting for you?
It's been
And also
honestly,
helped culture. I think that's the other thing it does too.
yeah. So the first thing I want to say for sure is that in order for the bench to work, you need to have a job that people want. So make sure you get that right, or at least mostly right, before you start trying to do it. And there are ways, and Libby will help you with this for sure, like how to sell your job, like the job that you're offering, like how to really sell it and make people want it. And that does come down to making sure you have an excellent company culture, paying well, of course, and giving people value in the job, right? So we pretty much have that down. I feel like we really are really great. Our employee turnover is extremely low, the lowest it's ever been, to be honest. And I feel confident in that. When people come in, we are always hiring. Even I'm sorry, always interviewing. Even if we are overstaffed, even if we are like max capacity, we are always interviewing because it gets them through the door. It allows us to brag about our company, brag about what we're doing, and even if we can't offer them the position right then, we will send a message that says, "We absolutely love you. We'd love to start you in a month," whatever. Sometimes we'll give them a date and say, "Oh, we want to start you, 4 weeks from now. I know that's a while, but I promise the job is worth waiting for. We just want to make sure we can have a schedule for you." We kind of incentivize.
Yes.
And sometimes it just means holding on to their information and telling them that, um, you know, right now, we can't offer them a date right now, but letting them know that we love them, um, and that we'll keep in touch if ever a position opens up. And we hold on to those contacts forever. And what's great about WootRecruit is that everything is so organized. You can just kind of like literally pull those people when you do need to hire. And what's important about that is that when you have people on your bench, it's going to help you if somebody does quit. And Libby dropped a number at CBF Live that it haunts me to this day. What was it? 52% of your employees?
52% of your current employees are thinking about quitting.
I nearly barfed when she said that. But it's true, and you have to be ready, because if you don't have a backup, if somebody leaves, and sometimes it's for like every time we have somebody quit, they're crying out the door. They don't want to go, but something else happens. and we have always been quick to have somebody immediately replace them. There is no wait. There is absolutely no waiting period for us ever.
By having a bench, you reduce the time to hire significantly. I think it was by 83%, you reduce the time to hire, and you reduce your recruiting costs by 50% by doing that as well. But the one thing I want to go back to the 52% of the people who are thinking of leaving the job that they're currently at. So if you're a business owner and you're listening, that means 52% of your staff are thinking about leaving. Now, what does that mean? That means maybe they're thinking of moving. Maybe they are not. That doesn't mean that all 52% are unhappy. That means maybe it's too physical. Maybe they're struggling. Maybe there's life issues, home issues, kid issues, husband issues, wife issues. Who knows? But 52% of people are thinking of leaving their current job. And when you're always recruiting and you have a bench, right? That's your insurance policy. Right? We don't need our general liability insurance or workman's comp every day, but we need it when we need it. And so that's how I want you guys to think about that. Always be recruiting, always be interviewing kind of mindset. I get a ton of pushback on the always be interviewing.
I mean, I was a naysayer for a long time. But you really just gotta, you gotta trust Libby, guys. She knows what she's talking about, okay?
So that being said, always recruiting or always hiring, how do you think it's helped the culture of your company?
I think that it's always important because when we are understaffed, there is just more chaos. There's more changes in the schedule. It's last minute changes for them and they don't like that. Nobody likes that. Nobody wants last minute changes. And in this industry, it is unavoidable, but it's going to be significantly less if you're able to replace an employee quicker. Because if you're trying to hire and you're stressed out and now they're working and they're taking on extra jobs that they don't even really want, they were happy with their current schedule and now they're working, double the amount of hours or whatever, they're going to get frustrated too. They're going to get stressed. So it's important to always be able to bring people in and do it fast. You really have to be able to do it fast and almost make it like seamless. One person in, one person out. You know what I'm saying? I think that that's really important for us.
Awesome. And as far as you're managing the cleaning techs in your company, are you guys managing them more of a remote type of an employee, or do you guys come to the office often?
No, we actually are mostly we only have them check in 1 day a week. So they get a lot of freedom. We tell them you get all the benefits of owning a cleaning company without having to own a cleaning company because they get to go do the jobs. We fill the schedule. They don't have to worry about sales or anything. But they don't have to be here pretty much ever. So yeah.
So I love that. It's all the benefits, but you don't have to do the work,
Yeah.
the hard work, which is the office work. Let's get this straight, because
Yes.
I worked all weekend cleaning something, and I could have had somebody do it for me, but I was so tired of being in front of a computer that I just wanted to clear my mind. So I'm like, I'm gonna clean.
I've done that.
I was like, I'm gonna clean. So that being said, managing the majority of your staff like remote, what are some tips that you guys do to help build culture in that remote type of setting?
One of the big things that we do, which I find is we do a couple of things, but this is very important. We run our entire company, our communications on an app called Discord. It's free. It's great. Similar to like Slack or WhatsApp. You have different channels in there and a few things that we use it for that are very important. And I cannot stress this enough is to give your employees praise when they are doing the job well. So whenever we get a compliment from a customer, we'll post it in our kudos channel. Oh my gosh, shout out to, Ashley, you're killing it. You got this compliment, you got this 5-star review, you got this 5-star survey. And we encourage everybody to say like, oh, great job, Ashley. That's awesome. So even though you're not seeing them every day, I think it's important to have consistent communication with them through whatever you're using. And I think it's important to have them together. So using one of those types of apps instead of just texting everybody individually or whatever it is that people do, having them together virtually, like through an app or something, is super super duper important for us, I feel.
I love that. I think when we're running remote teams, so whether you're, to me, whether you're a lawn care company, you're a garage door installation company, you're a cleaning company, or even if you're software, we're all essentially remote because you may have an office, they may check in the morning, they may check in once a week, but because they're in the field or they're out of an office, it's not like we all work at Chick-fil-A and we hang out there all day and we can have water cooler talk. I think that we cannot stress the importance of over communicating. It
No,
takes a
definitely.
different level of communicating and clarity in what you're saying when you're running employees in a remote style work environment. So I love that tip. So any last recruiting, hiring tips before we wrap up this episode?
Um, yeah, I guess something that is really important to us is to hire based on integrity and not skill.
Yes,
This is really important. We try to give them every test while they are in here to see if they align with our core values, and we tell them what they are as well and see their reactions, see if they're loving it, see if they love, that we are really keen on giving back to the community and things like that. If they're not really showing interest, I don't think their integrity is there. And even if they were with another, cleaning service for 10 years and they were their top A player, best person ever, we won't hire them. We hire strictly based on integrity and character as opposed to talent or skill.
I love that. That's a great tip. So guys, that's a wrap on today's episode. Thank you so much, Holly, for being a guest. Again, I'm Libby, and it was my pleasure guiding you guys through another episode of the ins and outs of effective recruiting. Remember, transforming your recruiting isn't just a myth. Let's make it a reality, guys. For more insights and strategies, be sure to subscribe and follow us on YouTube or on our blog page. Until next time, keep pushing those boundaries of what you thought was possible when it comes to your hiring process. Let's make recruiting the superpower in your business. Until the next episode.